Hey, John Crestani here, tech entrepreneur and internet marketer, and I'm excited to talk about somebody I've been following quite a bit. His name is Dan Lok. Now, he's got a monster YouTube channel of over 2 million people. I think he's the biggest marketer on YouTube right now. He's known as the high ticket closer. And I'm gonna go over 5 different lessons I've learned from watching what Dan Lok does and what he talks about on his channel. Now, whether you follow Dan Lok or whether you don't, what's important to know is he's a multimillionaire. He's known as the high ticket closer. He talks about sales and mindset and also Kung Fu. And I will be discussing the biggest lessons I've learned from him right now. Let's get it. John Crestani here, and I'm going to be talking about the 5 biggest lessons I've learned from Dan Lok. Now, if you follow him, let me know down below in the comments. If you follow him, if you have no idea who he is, let me know in the comments as well. But let's get straight into the first lesson of 5 that I've learned from Dan Lok. So first off, adversity is an advantage. Now, what does saying adversity is an advantage mean? Well, it means if you grew up poor, you have kids running around a house and you can't focus, you have medical conditions, you have family members with medical conditions, you have poor internet access, let that be fuel to create success for yourself. If you have it easy in life, I grew up privileged, I grew up around a lot of successful people. They have no fuel and they're not successful. Most of them are not successful. They're never going to be successful because they never had any reason to persevere. They never had any adversity. They never had obstacles to work through. Working through obstacles is what makes us. Oprah Winfrey grew up poor and got raped as a child, and she was able to go through that and fight beyond it. It gave her a reason to go above and beyond. She's now a billionaire, a black billionaire female, okay? That's a huge advantage, and she used that adversity to her own advantage, okay? Now, lesson number 2 I've learned from Dan Lok is money is a moral obligation. Why is money a moral obligation? Now, the reason money is a moral obligation is because you have an obligation to take care of your family. You have an obligation to take care of your friends. You have an obligation to provide for those around you. And if you can make money, if you know how to make money, you have a moral obligation to yourself, your friends, and your family members to make it. This is a moral obligation. Money is what fuels our lives. Unless you farm your own food, and you're probably not watching this channel. But the point is, you need money. So make it an obligation. Don't make it I'm gonna try. Because if you try, I'm gonna try to raise my hand. It doesn't move, but I'm trying. But I'm gonna raise my hand, and I just did it. So make it a moral obligation. Don't try to make money, make it. Lesson number 3 I've learned from Dan Lok is save yourself first, okay? Now, you may have great intentions. You may want to help the world. You may want to change global warming. You may want to help the rainforest. You may want to save the whales. You may want to help all these people, but guess what? If you don't make money, if you don't focus on your own finances, if you don't focus on spreading your message out to the world, then you're not going to have as big of an effect as you could on the rainforests or the whales or the whatever is the climate that you want to have. If you become a billionaire, become a millionaire, become a trillionaire, and you will be able to have a greater effect on saving those whales or those oceans or those clouds than anything else that you could do. Become a trillionaire and give all your money away. That's what some of these big billionaires are doing. So save yourself first. And that brings us to our 4th point, which is promotion over creation, okay? Spending your entire life creating a product. I know so many entrepreneurs that focus so much on product creation, on creating the perfect website, on creating the perfect product, on working with Chinese manufacturers to create the great prototype that they could start selling. But it doesn't matter unless you can promote it. And you see this with people like Elon Musk. Okay, yes, he focuses a lot on creation. But when did he start selling the Tesla? Before it was even created. He pre-sold 250,000 Teslas before they were even created. And from that money, from pre-selling it, from promoting his product, before it was even created, he was able to get even more money to create his dream product, which is the Teslas, the Tesla motor stuff. So promote versus create. And we actually see this a lot among startups, okay? Startups out here in California, they will raise $5 million because they're so focused on promoting their vision. They focus on creating their pitch deck, promoting their vision before even creating the product themselves. The companies already have $5 million in the bank before they even start creating the product because their founders are just out there pitching people on their vision, their grand vision for the world. And you can do the same. Focus on promoting yourself. You could just have a vision for what can become. You could have an idea. You can be in the creation process, whatever point you're at. Sell, promote, get stuff out there. And that brings us to point number 5 that I've learned from Dan Lok, which is master, don't dabble. Dan Lok is known as the high ticket closer because he's focused on selling. And he's focused on selling big, particularly. He's focused on one thing, selling big. And he's been able to make a lot of money doing so. He's focused on one promotional channel only, YouTube. He's not focused on being big on Facebook. He's not focused on being big on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Just YouTube and just selling big. He's become a master at those two things, and it earns his company tens of millions of dollars a year. One way to reach people, YouTube. One way to sell, big. Master, don't dabble. If you try 5 things, you'll fail at all 5. Whereas if you try one thing, you will become a winner. So I hope you took something away from this lesson, or the 5 lessons I've learned about Dan Lok. Let me know what your favorite point that I made in this video was. Also, if you want to subscribe to Dan Lok's channel, I'll link to him somewhere around my head. Also, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I talk about marketing, in particular internet marketing and starting your own home-based business every single day, every single month of the year on this channel. So make sure to subscribe, hit all notifications, smash the like button, and ask any questions in the comments. Talk to you soon.